Hello and welcome in to another edition of Vegas Square Morning Show. I am your host, Michael Carvelis, filling in for the next few weeks for our good friend Aaron Crouch. Aaron has some work obligations, and that's fine. He'll be back before you know it. We are live on 12 on Sports via 12onsports.com and 12 on Sports socials, and replayed on Dingo TV, channel 217. Download the free Dingo TV app to your smartphone or stream it on your streaming devices. DINGO TV, channel 217. Also, be sure to catch the Vegas Square Gambling Show Thursdays at 9 p.m. Pacific, and this Thursday I will not be there, so Aaron will take over for me, which is kind of ironic. I'm doing his show right now, but you get it. And as always, we're going to start off with what Aaron usually calls the early thoughts from Sin City, but from here on out, and at least until Aaron gets back, to have respects for our host, I'm going to call it Mike Said It First, a little ode to the old garb here. On 12 on Sports. My MSIF today is going to be Kyle Shanahan, who blew another lead. The San Francisco 49ers were playing their division rival. I say division rival because, I say it in quotes because it feels like the Cardinals are kind of a little brother the last 10 plus years, maybe longer than that. But it's still an NFC West matchup. In this game, the Arizona Cardinals were trailing 23-10 at halftime as Mitch Wishnowsky nailed a 26-yard field goal. The 49ers in this game were 7.5-point favorites. Now, to the credits of Sammy Action, who's also on that Vegas Square Gambling Show, he said he liked the Cardinals plus 7.5. I did too, but not in the fact of being down 23-10, and then this happens. Third quarter, field goal by Chad Ryland of the Cardinals to cut it to 10. Okay, no big deal. You still have a 10-point lead. Then you go to the fourth quarter. Elijah Higgins, 2-yard pass from Kyler Murray. And a 2-point conversion by James Conner. All of a sudden, it's a 2-point lead. It is a 2-point lead for the 49ers, who just led by 13 moments ago. But yet, Brock Purdy, what does he do for his swan song? Throws an interception. Or maybe I think the Cardinals kicked a field goal first. Then Brock Purdy threw a back-breaking interception. And we can blame Brock Purdy, who's actually played pretty decently the first few weeks of the season now. Or we can look at a bigger issue at hand. Kyle Shanahan, since it was 28-3, the Falcons over the Patriots. Yeah, Dan Quinn was the coach, but let's look at what Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan have done since those moments. Dan Quinn becomes defensive coordinator of the Cowboys. They play well year after year after year after year on defense. Kyle Shanahan panics. Well, let me see. Kyle Shanahan takes the head coaching job with the 49ers. Is doing really well with Jimmy Garoppolo. Blows a fourth quarter lead, albeit Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and Garoppolo misses a wide open pass to, God, I forgot his name. He was a good wide receiver too. Anyways, he blows a lead to the Chiefs, and there you go. Then, Kyle Shanahan trades up to get Trey Lance, who, to be fair, I like too coming out of the draft, but that's why those guys get paid millions and I don't. Trey Lance, they have to trade for nothing but a bag of chips and a dill pickle. Jimmy Garoppolo goes to die in Las Vegas. And then comes in Brock Purdy all of a sudden. And Brock Purdy looks pretty decent in the offense of the Kyle Shanahan system. And what happens? 49ers have the Chiefs dead to rights the entire Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes shows up. And then this year, I believe this is the second blown fourth quarter lead of 10 or more points for the 49ers. That is an issue. I'm not sure if Patrick Mahomes being on the other side of the football was a reason. It probably was a little reason why the 49ers blew those games. But could it also be that Kyle Shanahan is just not a great coach, but a good coach? The NFL is full of nepotism. Obviously, a guy can work his butt off, but if we're being honest, Mike Shanahan is the reason Kyle Shanahan, anyone knows, exists right now. Again, Father Mike is the reason why Kyle Shanahan has a chance to exist. If Mike Shanahan is an average dude in Kentucky, Kyle Shanahan does not become an NFL coach. I'm sorry. You can coach till you're blue in the face. You're not an NFL coach if you're not raised by Mike Shanahan, Redskins legend. So now you've been living off that success. Matt Ryan could have had a Super Bowl championship, and you decide to go conservative on offense. Patrick Mahomes, 2 of his 3 Super Bowls came against you, and the more and more I look at this, is Patrick Mahomes great? Probably. Or is there a scenario where Kyle Shanahan, I don't want to say gave Mahomes 2 Super Bowls, but as great as Mahomes is he worth those 2 extra Super Bowls? He had to come back, and to his credit, he did. And I love Mahomes. But the more and more I see Kyle Shanahan pull this stunt off of blowing leads, the more and more I'm like, dang, those are impressive because they're championships, but I can't, it's hard to wrap your mind around. Is it possible that Kyle Shanahan is just that bad in big moments? Is it possible that Patrick Mahomes could only have 1 ring if Daddy Mike Shanahan was coaching the big game? I mean, is there even a GOAT debate right now if Kyle Shanahan is the one not coaching or not the one coaching? And it's a conversation, again, I don't want to have about Patrick Mahomes, but the more and more I see Mahomes struggle this year like he has last year, the more and more I'm like, Kyle Shanahan kind of gave this guy 2 rings. And yeah, getting to the championship is a big deal. No one's going to deny how good Mahomes is. But does he belong in a GOAT debate if what we're counting is rings and 2 of them come against this guy, Kyle Shanahan? The conversation must be had one day, and it might take 5 or 6 years, but as you'll see later on the show, I'll wait that long if I have to. So there's your Mike Said It First, hashtag MSIF. It's back for at least about 2 or 3 weeks here. When I come back to this awesome show, be sure to follow Vegas Square TV on Instagram and Twitter. When I come back to the show, we're going to get to Sunday Night Football recap. The Cowboys get a big win. Do the Colts have a quarterback controversy? Oh. And, of course, New York media, how they failed Sam Darnold. We'll be right back to Vegas Square morning show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money. And we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play.
For years, we've connected fans to the game. But just like athletes and leagues, we must evolve and grow. This fall, 12 Ounce Sports is taking our game to the next level. Montana, we'll see you in October.
Welcome back to Vegas Square Morning Show here on 12 Ounce Sports and Dingo TV, channel 217, where you're catching the replay. We are presented by mybookie.ag. Use the promo code 12OZ Sports, no caps, all caps, no spaces, for up to a $1,000 first deposit bonus. When you do so, you can bet from anywhere you are on anything you want. Go to mybookie.ag. And to beat the books, catch the super red smoking hot plays on the 12 Ounce Sports Best Bet subscription service at 12ouncesports.com/bet. That's 12ozsports.com/BET. For just $5.99 a month or $60 for a year, you're getting plays from the Gamble Guy, from Philly Pete's, and from Greg, aka Sports Stance, for daily fantasy lineups. And trust me, they have the stats and the figures to back it up on how good they've been. And don't forget, Vegas Square is a product of the Vegas Square Gambling Show, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Pacific, including this Thursday, where the crew will be without me, and I'm very excited to see that show. Alrighty, let's get into this Sunday Night Football recap. The Cowboys defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-17. And honestly, this game went almost exactly how I thought it was going to. And did I predict the final score of 20-17? Actually, I might have. I didn't do it publicly, but I think on my fantasy football app, I think on either Yahoo and on ESPN, I think I did 20-17 or 23-17. I knew it was going to be a close game, but my reasoning was that the Cowboys just have a better offense. And last night, Justin Fields, who didn't throw 2 interceptions like Dak Prescott did, but Justin Fields, he just hasn't played great for the Steelers. Was sacked 3 times. Despite having a decent little stat line, I was surprised because out of 100, he only had a 35.5 QBR. Najee Harris continues to absolutely suck as a running back, despite being one of those Alabama running backs. As for the Cowboys, Rico Dowdle rushed 20 times for 87 yards. The Cowboys as a team rushed for 109 yards. Dak Prescott threw for 352 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. But that last pass to Tolbert in the nick of time got the Cowboys to 3-2 as the Steelers suffered back-to-back losses, including to my Colts, who we'll talk about in just a few seconds here. Again, this win will be proclaimed in the media as a big moment for the Cowboys season. I don't think it was. Steelers are exactly who I thought they were. A pretty strong defensive team with glaring holes on offense. George Pickens is not the greatest receiver since sliced bread. I'm sorry. Him doing the one-on-one catches is just like Mike Williams. I'm not saying George Pickens is not better than Mike Williams, but George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, even formerly Deontay Johnson, they're all just dudes. They're pretty decent dudes, but they're not like great players. Najee Harris, definitely not a great running back, never has been. And then Justin Fields, who's your QB1 right now. And I'll be honest, it's not going to change with Russell Wilson. Mike Tomlin seems allergic to hiring good offensive coordinators. Maybe Mike Tomlin's idea of running an offense is pound the rock, hope the quarterback makes enough plays. Because didn't the Steelers just fire a guy last year? I forget his name. The Steelers fans always talk about the Matt Canada guy, I think his name was. Matt Canada, I think that's who they hated. And the offense looks the exact same as it did last year, as the exact same as it did with Mitchell Trubisky. I don't know what Steelers fans are expecting. Did the Steelers expect to win this game? I don't think you should have. Scoring 17 points against most football teams is not good enough. It's not. The Cowboys got a win they were supposed to. Steelers got a loss as scheduled. They're going to be a pretty good football team who might make the playoffs and might not. But as the Ravens keep finding ways to beat the Bengals, Steelers might lose the division, and they could have run away with it had they had a capable offense or an offense with a pulse. So people are going to overreact to this game. I've never been a person who loved or hated the Cowboys because I think that's an old media grab at this point. I think for 30 years, people have tried to act, the media members who are still like in their 50s are like, oh, well, you got to love them or hate them. I just don't care. I'll be 28 this month, and I don't care about the Cowboys. I never have. I like Dak Prescott. I used to love Ezekiel Elliott. I didn't mind Tony Romo. But I've never thought, the Cowboys have never been a big topic of conversation, at least in my brain. And I don't know why other people still try to act like they're a hot topic, because they're not. And eventually when the old media, I don't want to say dies out, but kind of what I mean, I just don't think Cowboys are going to be as relevant as people think they are. They're just not. Jerry Jones is 90 years old, it feels like. It might be, actually. And Cowboys, again, got a good win, but a win that I didn't think was going to wow the world, but for some reason it might this morning on sports talk television. Alrighty. Listen, Colts fan here. I'll be honest. This topic hurts to talk about, but as is the case here on Vegas Square Morning Show, at least for the next few weeks, this will be a lot of Mike said it first. It'll be a lot of me just saying how I feel. This is an opinionated show, but it's also, I'm not going to try to recap news here. I'm not going to try to give hot takes. I'm just going to tell you what I believe. And sometimes it might be a hot take. But guys, Joe Flacco of the Indianapolis Colts It's funny because the last few years, the Colts have had Phillip Rivers. They tried Matt Ryan. They tried Carson Wentz. Now Joe Flacco's on the team behind, at least for now, Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco, albeit a loss, went 33 of 44 for 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had a 21-yard run, which is absolutely insane at 39 years old. This isn't a game without Jonathan Taylor. Wow. So Joe Flacco with Trey Sermon, who I like, and Tyler Goodson as his number 1 and number 2 running backs, threw for $3.59. That's pretty awesome. Alec Pierce had a 65-yard touchdown catch. Josh Downs had another good game, 9 catches, 69 yards. Adonai, a.k.a. A.D. Mitchell, good game. Michael Pittman Jr., 5 catches, 37 yards, not bad. But here's the thing. As much as I love Anthony Richardson, and I do believe he will be a very good quarterback one day, the Colts are 2-3. Their roster's fantastic, in my opinion. Guys, I don't want to say it. I have to. Anthony Richardson could learn a lot from Joe Flacco. Anthony Richardson should be benched for at least a week. I don't care how healthy he might become. And again, I cannot stress this enough. I love Anthony Richardson. This is the best I've felt about a Colts quarterback since Andrew Luck. I love what he brings to the table. He is not consistent enough. Joe Flacco is the old quarterback the Colts thought Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, and Matt Ryan would be. Joe Flacco, at 39 years old, had Shane Steichen's offense once again looking like a brilliant orchestrated machine without Jonathan Taylor. Guys, 359 yards is not an accident. 359 yards is not just the modern day NFL. That's Shane Steichen's offense without Jonathan Taylor. Joe Flacco needs to be QB1 for a couple of weeks until you think Anthony Richardson has it going. And again, it could be longer than a couple of weeks. But I believe Anthony Richardson is like 21 years old. I'll look it up. Anthony Richardson age. He's 22. He's 22. You're not going to ruin his confidence. You're going to tell him, hey, dude, you're a great quarterback. You have potential to be such. But Joe Flacco can win us some games right now. And I don't care if the Colts make the playoffs and throw Anthony Richardson right back in the fire. I wouldn't mind. But Shane Steichen, his offense was moving, baby. And if I'm Jim Irsay, if I'm Chris Ballard, I don't say crap. I let Shane Steichen say, hey, dude, if you want it, you can have it. Take it, dude. Honestly, just take it. Joe Flacco, you're my QB1. Probably not going to happen, though. All right, let's get to this. New York media. Ooh. This is bad. This is not a good look, okay? I have a tweet I would like to read to you from the year 2020. Okay? I bookmarked this. Here it is. This is from November 28th, 2020. Let's be real. I like Sam Darnold. Well, how many times do I have to tell people that I'm not bad at judging quarterbacks? I think Zach Wilson Sam Darnold and recently Daniel Jones have been shafted by the New York media. Allow me to explain, and I may not have time to get to all of this actually. Sam Darnold, drafted by the Jets, had, I believe, Adam Gase as his head coach at one point. Went to Carolina, I thought played pretty well. People say he turned into a pumpkin. I disagree. Goes to the 49ers, sits behind Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. That's fine. I don't care. They kept him on the roster. Goes to the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell, who's a very good offensive coach, and the Vikings are 5-0. They went to London. The reason why that game was close was because the Vikings took a 12-hour flight. The Jets only had to travel 7 hours on their flight. Vikings winning that game as handily as they did was actually impressive. Sam Darnold, for 5 weeks, has shown people he's a good quarterback. And for 5 weeks, I've had to hear, well, is he really that good? Yes, he's not going to look bad. I promise you, Sam Darnold is going to keep having a good year. Zach Wilson, who was completely, just utterly disrespected by Robert Saleh and the New York Jets media, because remember that game where there was a bunch of field goals and the Jets, I think they lost on a punt return touchdown to the Patriots. Remember that game? And afterwards, Zach Wilson they thought he threw like his teammates under the bus. I don't think he did. Go back and watch that entire interview. I don't remember specifically what was said, but I remember people like overreacting when he said, like, what did Zach Wilson say that was so terrible? Oh, you don't like him? The next week, Robert Saleh allowed his players to wear Mike White t-shirts showing their support for Mike White. How did that work out? Aaron Rodgers, Nathaniel Hackett, and the Jets right now with Robert Saleh look like crap and just lost to Sam Darnold as poetic justice. There's a quarterback for the New York Giants. Because the Giants media, you're not out of this either.
All hail the New York Giants.
If that wasn't loud enough for you, we'll play it again.
All hail the New York Giants.
That's right, folks. All hail the New York Giants. Here's the thing. The New York media, because they remember when they told you, the entire media told you, Dwayne Haskins was a good quarterback. Remember that? And don't you dare tell me I cannot talk about Haskins because he's dead. That is not my fault. He was the one who was having substance issues. And I know that's a big problem with addiction. But here's my problem with the whole thing. Dwayne Haskins was never a good quarterback. Ever. I watched the tape, and I don't even get paid the millions of dollars. I did it, and I always said, man, Daniel, before I even knew what the media was saying, I was, oh, Daniel Jones isn't bad. Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. Well, what did Daniel Jones do yesterday? Oh, Giants look good again. Daniel Jones just went to Seattle against that defense and won and played very well and could have iced the game late if Darius Slayton did not drop yet another clutch pass that was right in his breadbasket. I'm watching the games. Don't let the media tell you what to do. Yet here they are, ruining another career. It's New York media for you, baby. It's what they do. It's why they think Eli Manning, who won 2 rings on the back of great defenses, is a Hall of Fame quarterback despite leading the league in picks 6 times. You realize how hard that is to do? They love him. They don't love Daniel Jones, though. What do I know? Let's get to our free bets of the day, presented by mybookie.ag. Promo code 12OZ Sports, all caps, no spaces. Chiefs are not going to go undefeated. I'm not saying they lose, but Saints plus 5.5 is a very fun bet tonight. And if you are feeling special, plus 195 on the money line. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow for Top 5 Tuesday. Bye.